Ladies, you saw the title of the video. This week we are going in on 5 types of men that you need to avoid. Who is this applicable to? Who ought to be paying attention? Who is this for? Well, these are the signs to look out for. You've been developing your social acuity since the time you developed curves in puberty. Isn't that true? You've been getting it tossed at you left and right. That masculine expression is letting you know you are seen, you are valuable, and that means something in the world of social dynamics, sex, dating, and relationships specifically. You've gotten your hopes up. Every time you stumble across a guy who at least is checking off 60%, just 60, a little bit over half of the boxes, sometimes less, but inevitably, slowly and surely, you are always learning the flags, the fouls of the game, but only when it's too late. The type of men and situations you've come across make you wish you had never gotten into the dating game, or that they had never bothered to play the game to make themselves available, or maybe just hoping, wishing that those background checks you did, I know y'all got the investigation skills, that you had a character witness, somebody to give you testimony, hands-on experience. What type of mother am I dealing with? I know. You can't judge a book by its cover, but you can look at the genre and the foreword, the table of contents. You can get an idea of what you're dealing with. I say that to say, if you found yourself in any of these boats, in any of these scenarios and situations throughout your dating life, you're going to want to stay tuned. I'm about to break down for you the 5 types of men that will help you avoid all of this shit forever, so you can stick to only qualified candidates, valued prospects that are going to bring you your MGM, mature, grounded, masculine man in your life. So shall we dive in, ladies? First and foremost, I am Duwayne Langham, masculinity architect, teaching you the ways of masculine men and how to get what you want in your sex, dating, and relationships using your divine feminine, ladies. I'm going to break down the types of men that you're going to want to avoid, but I need you to do me a solid. Go ahead, make sure you hit the thumbs up, hit the like, go ahead and share it with somebody that you feel needs to hear this message. Help us grow, get the vibes out there, hit the notification bell, YouTube talking to you. Make sure you don't miss a video. I'm dropping lives every week. Also, do yourself a favor. Go ahead and grab absolutely free copy of my ebook, Deep Dive into the Divine, give you all the background on this divine, masculine, and feminine so you can get caught up to speed, know exactly what I'm talking about, give you a breakdown in your platonic, romantic, familial, whatever relationships you have, ladies. Understand these divine energies will give you a filter to understand everything, what he's doing, what you're doing, and vice versa. Give you all that you need to know outside of this discussion. Ladies, the top 5 types of men that you need to avoid in your dating game. And I'm going to give you the signs to look out for, how to identify these guys, and also the dangers, why they put you at risk, why they'll waste your time, and why you want to avoid them at all costs. So who is the first and foremost on this list? I know you've been waiting for it. Is it the fuckboy? No, he ain't even on here. Nice guys. The nice guy. Now, I don't really have to tell you this. You kind of already know it. The nice guy, there's just nothing there. There's no substance. What are the signs? Well, he struggles to be present and authentic, to build a genuine connection. See, I'm giving you that straight talk, ladies. I want to give you the signs. When you notice these things, pull away, red flags. Now, do not go looking for the red flag. We already know that game. What happens when you're only looking for trouble? You find it. And these are the things I want you to keep in consideration while you're out there in the dating game, because when they show up, he's struggling. I mean, really think about that. Why? I'll tell you. Well, the nice guy has got his protective walls up. What's most important for the nice guy? People pleasing. Matter of fact, what is most important for him is you. Why? Because you're there. You give him the time. He doesn't respect himself. He doesn't think he's worthy. He doesn't think he's good enough. So with that, it's hard for him to be present with you, to lock eyes, really hear you, tell you a story, tell you about himself. Any of that shit is not going to happen. He can't do that. He doesn't have it there for himself. He's too busy being nice. He's not authentically himself. So being authentic with you is not going to come out. You can start to pry at this stuff. And I'll tell you why you don't even have to worry if he's not prepared, immature, emotionally intelligent. All that stuff will bring it all together and what you need to look out for in total. Some other signs of the nice guy: he passively agrees, goes along with everything. The doormat type. Doesn't have a backbone, doesn't have a spine, asks you for your ideas, always checking in. Well, I don't know, baby, what do you want? Has no leadership. Or, better yet, he'll change his stance. If he clearly states something, says he has a choice, says he has a preference, says he has a way, point of view that he sees it, he'll drop that shit in a second as soon as you say something different. and he'll shift it a bit. He'll backpedal a few steps. He'll soften the blow. You know these guys. You know what it's all about. He lacks integrity. He's often caught lying to you, others, or himself. This is something he doesn't even have to say, ladies. You can see it in his eyes. Does he have any fight? Does he have any life about him? Is he actually out there doing things? If he says he's going to accomplish something, do you believe that shit? Does he believe that shit? That's the part where, like I said, he can be lying to himself. He says he's going to lose weight and takes absolutely no action. Says he's going to build a business, does absolutely no research, makes not one phone call, no connections, no activities. There's nothing matching up with it. It just lacks integrity. The lies he gets caught in, again, I'm going to break down for you why. The lies he's getting caught in, why this shows up, because he doesn't believe in himself. Again, so the word he tells himself, I want to do this, I wish I could do this. When you don't believe in yourself, when you don't authentically love and own yourself, you can't have integrity. Because what you say is what you do. It lines up. It's what happens. When you have that guarded wall, and so what you say is filtered on the acceptance of, will she like this? Will others approve of this? Will this get me kicked out? You're not even being yourself. So there's no way you can show up with integrity. He doesn't lead or initiate anything, not even picking dinner. And he'll behave as if he is allergic to responsibility. Ladies, have you seen these types of individuals? Now, I've already told you before, you're looking out for the MGM standard, mature, grounded, masculine men. That's all I talk about on this channel. That's all I talk about on my men's channel. It's telling men how to be that. If you see this, of allergic to responsibility, if more often than not, because how you do anything is how you do everything. If the small things show up like this, best believe the big things will show up like that in same fashion. So whenever that happens and you find yourself being handed the ball, there's something that easily you can drop the whisper, give him the feminine influence, the softness, just hint to some little, get a cup of coffee. I mean, little requests, take out the tray. It really doesn't matter. What do we want to do for dinner? But some way or another, it always goes in a direction where you're left, the buck stopping here. If that's the case, he's allergic to responsibility. He's not showing up. He's not holding it down. You might be dealing with a nice guy. Now, why is this dangerous? Nobody ever got harmed by a nice guy. It's better than being alone. At least he's not my gay friend. You know, maybe he at least can get the needs met in some way, shape, or form, get you some sex up in there. Maybe, but there's dangers even with the nice guy. His passive aggressive behavior is a time bomb, ladies. That's the problem. It's masking his suppressed feelings. This is why he's passive aggressive. He has suppressed what he wants, what he thinks, what he values, what's important to him. Himself even has been pushed down so much with this false belief of reciprocity. If I am nice to you, extra kind to you, being a good person and so forth and so on, if I give you what you want, you will give me what I want. He doesn't understand the game. He doesn't understand himself. That can become a danger. Why? Because covering all that nice behavior beneath, you'll find his physical advantage, which you may overlook, whether you deny it or not. Men, biologically, just by default, bone density, lungs, heart, all the things required when it gets physical. This is why men are the cannon fodder for war. This is why the draft only applies to men. It is what it is. And you can forget that when dealing with a soft, kind, passively aggressively nice individual who is faking the front. And when they snap, when they spill over, you do not want to be in range or alone, lady. Other reasons you want to look out for the nice guy, because hurting people hurt people. He's got a victim mindset. He is suffering through his own life, ladies. So best believe misery loves company. When crossed, when he can't benefit, he will treat others in the same regard. He feels overlooked. He feels stepped on. He feels left out, not recognizing it's because of his own lack of a backbone and his choices in life to stand up with mature, grounded, masculine expression. But through that, you may become the victim of. When he sees the world like that and decides to act out, when he realizes he can't get anything from you, when he realizes he's put himself, moonwalking into the friend zone, he may not feel good about that. It may be another smack to the face like all the other smacks to the face that he takes throughout life. And you, again, may end up the victim in that scenario because he is still a man. And last but not least, the dangers you want to look out for with the nice guy is that he lacks grounding. And so that will stunt your feminine elevation. Feminine is the everything. In order to truly access, and this is on both sides, ladies, the dance of masculine and feminine, we yoke off of each other in our relationships. I can trust and siphon off from my feminine partner and get the femininity while I ground deeper into my masculine, and vice versa. My grounding, your mature, grounded masculine man's grounding, allows you to truly flow, truly express yourself, release, unwind, let loose, relax, all the good stuff that you want a relationship with a grounded masculine man for. With the nice guy, however, because he lacks that grounding, it's going to stunt your feminine elevation. He will not lift you any higher. He will not offer any additional value to your life other than what you choose to pull out of him as a placeholder, ladies. Let's be honest, because you're still holding out for the man that you want to live happily ever after with. And this one's going to be recurring, but when it comes to these 5 types of men you need to avoid, the number one danger when dealing with a nice guy is that bodies count. He's still potentially fertile. He will occupy your mind, your body, and your energy. If allowed, that is a danger, risk, and waste of time to you, ladies. You want to look out for the YNs, the aimless, the lost. It's that Peter Pan and the Lost Boys. He shows up or acts his age. Just is what it is. Maturity, even deeper, because YNs might be some ONs. But the facts are, it's still the same mentality up here. His mental capacity is not developed. You notice it quick enough. Doesn't matter how they look. Doesn't matter what they've accomplished. Doesn't matter their age. If mentally they still a YN, still a little boy, or translated to aimless, lost, doesn't belong to anything, doesn't have a purpose, doesn't have a cause, you know what this is. He has a small or limited view of life, the world, and his awareness of self. You have to understand, somebody who's never grown, has never viewed the world any differently. You can, take them out the hood, but you can't take the hood out of them. And I'm not speaking to a specific demographic, because mentally, that just is what it is. If survival, living by the gun, dying by the gun, whatever comes with that aimless life, gang activity in the streets, illegal activity, all kinds of risk, that small or limited view, without an understanding for what you do today affects you tomorrow. That's going to be his vision. That's going to be his dreams. That's going to be his legacy. All these things are of impact to you if you latch on to that. And that's the type of man that you choose to follow. I say man loosely because, as you can see, these aren't that MGM standard. The only thing that I acknowledge as a man around here, everybody else, males, boys, guys, whatever else you want to call it. The awareness of self as well. We know how children operate well. If you're a parent, you know how children operate. If you've seen children, you know how children operate. That same thing is a lack of self-awareness, comes along with maturity. Another thing that you'll look out for, his standards, his values, his structures, and life energy are intolerably low. Why do I say they're intolerably low? Ladies, let's be honest. After you get to know him, after you flip through that book, and if it's a children's book, it's a quick one, right? So after you get to that point, you're feminine. Your emotions, your feelings, you want excitement, you want joy, you want experiences, you want maturity, you want depth, you want laughter, the lightness, you want all of it. Well, if somebody has only expanded themselves to a certain degree, their life energy, this is the type that's going to sit around on the couch, do some drugs, drinking. I mean, as fun and as deep as that experience gets, illegal activities, yeah, sure, there's a realm to play in. But again, children's book, after you close that, after a couple of chapters, you're going to want to put that down because there's nothing else there. Day in, day out, because there's no imagination, there's no vision, there's no goal, there's no direction. It is aimless. When these things show up, read the signs, heed the warning, get the f*** out. You are his top priority, his validation, his fulfillment. Are you hearing how deep it goes, ladies? Don't get me wrong. Don't be honored. You want the queen and princess treatment. That's cool. And sniff out, be on the lookout. When I say top priority, remember, mature, grounded, masculine man, his purpose, the difference that he makes in the world, the masculinity, mature, grounded masculine, answers the question, who am I? That's the difference in the world it's going to make. That's how he treats his woman, how he treats his children, the feminine, the community in his life that he covers and protects for. Well, if you are the highest of that hierarchy, do you hear what I'm saying? You are his top priority, his top sense of validation. You are his arm candy. You are what qualifies him as a man to him. You are his fulfillment. Do you want all that pressure? Does that sound like a man of value, someone that you want to follow? You're the best thing in his life. Please hear me with the straight, authentic talk, the real talk, ladies. Sounds nice. That is not what you want. You want a man who's up to something. You want a man who you can respect and admire. If you are the most brilliant thing, the most brilliant dream in his life, to have a partner, to have a woman. That's it. That's the peak and pinnacle. It kind of gives you how far his vision is going. And that's something you want to keep in consideration for yourself, because again, that's what you're attaching yourself. What this can turn up is also some twisted, dysfunctional dynamics of power and respect, resembling the mama's boy. Now, I'm not just saying that it's going to be you duking it out with his mom for attention. What I'm saying is that the dynamic, because you are such a high priority, because mentally in his dynamic, so much of his world is going to be built off of you, you will have that sort of impact. And again, do you want a mature, grounded, masculine man that you can follow, respect, admire, a leader? Or do you want YN, aimless, or somebody who's going to be a mama's boy, paired to you at the hip, unable to think, create, live for themselves, give you experiences because they're only doing what makes you happy? Similar to the nice guy. There's going to be a lot of similarities paired to all these, and all these signs and factors. Just as much as I say that the feminine covers the entire spectrum, ladies, men as well. We're both two sides of the same coin. Men can have all different variations, stages of all these archetypes within one man. So these are just the signs in general. Not that this is one blanket classification for these are types, even better, archetypes within men. You may see a blend of all. Look out for the same reasons. Go the other way. So with that, what are the dangers that come along with the YNs, the aimless man? His masculinity is immature. It may occur as grounded, but what that means is that it lacks maturity and responsibility. Remember I said all the illegal activity out in the streets? See, it's immature. Masculine energy, just like in little boys, boisterous, rambunctious, loud, can't be tamed. Now without maturity, that's a dangerous thing because it is reactant. No different than your own feminine energy, it follows that emotion, how it feels. So if it's not grounded masculine energy, it's liable to go off. It's not capable of holding down maturity, because when it gives way to emotion, whoever gets caught in the crosshairs, whoever catches a stray, whoever runs into problems along with. Have you ever seen these ladies, influencers, getting caught up in the news, caught with narco type drug busts? Was that their MO? Is that how they was rocking and living, or were they partnered with somebody? Some of these YNs and aimless. Now, maybe they got something tucked away on the side for when they get out, but do you want to have to go through something like that? I mean, that's the situation though, and that's the danger that's going to be there for you. His immature masculine, the visions that he have, remember, they're limited. They're that of a child playing little child's games. They're not going to be making the big boy moves. The Sean Combs, no Diddy, right? But Sean Carter, Jay-Z is not going to be making an empire, being a mogul, or things like that. The black excellence, Beyonce, Jay-Z, it's not going to be that kind of vision. You might be Bonnie and Clyde, and we know how their story ended. So those are the things that you got to keep in consideration for yourself, because that's the danger you may be walking into. Another danger that comes with the YNs and the aimless man is that he lives fast and he dies young. Really the same thing I was just talking about. Careless consideration for his life choices and those around him. Don't be surprised if some gang violence or something comes knocking at your doorstep. Don't be surprised if some baby mamas comes knocking at your doorstep. Anything that requires his responsibility, you are dealing with the maturity of a young boy, adolescent, not a grown man. So what comes back home, you're going to have to deal with. Sow those seeds along with him. And once again, his stunted development will stunt your feminine elevation. He cannot contain beyond himself, so he cannot contain you. He cannot contain your emotions because he can't contain his own emotions. Again, ladies, you're wasting your time with this type of man. And the last danger, you might be able to guess it, bodies count. He's still potentially fertile, and he will occupy your mind, body, and energy if allowed. Ladies, I'm telling you how to clear the board. Like, if you get washed up and stuff, let's just make it a clean break, because you want to be open and available. And these dangers will keep you away from your mature, grounded, masculine man. If that's something you're playing the game for, sex, dating, relationships, I'm Big Bro here just trying to give you that knowledge. Keep in mind, every single one of these men that can avoid. And I say this because if these signs aren't immediately clear and you're living your best life, enjoying your single life, like I talk about and tell you to, you may be caught up vested. You may be caught up emotionally entangled. You may be caught up physically entwined. We know when the intimacy gets involved, it may turn things up. He may make you feel something. He may put you in a situation to experience something you have not experienced before. But again, begin with the end in mind. As I talked about before, having your ideals, you got to be listening for all of it. And this is why I'm giving you these red flag notifications. So you just keep it in the manual in your back pocket. Did he say oh, you look nice, guy? Aimless? No, thank you. Thank you for your time. We'll go ahead and call it here. I'm trying to give you the cue to exit. All right, the YNs, we got the old heads, ladies. All right, yes. They're on here too. He feels unworthy. He feels past his prime, insecure that you're actually interested in him. Had a young lady I was chopping it up with most recently, and she's telling me about her dating experience. She's a member of the village. Yeah, of course, you don't need to bring age into it, but talking to some guys, and she said it was like within a matter of days, a couple of the matches were coming across in the beginning of conversation is apologetic. I hope age isn't a thing for you. I hope it won't be an issue. My age doesn't bother you. Like, these are back-to-back messages coming in. And that's where he's starting. She's not responding. She's not mentioning it. This is his opening liner, if you will. So this is where I speak to red flag automatically, because here's the deeper picture. We all know age is nothing but a number. And especially, it's about what you feel. He can be 20 something and not give you the amount of life that a 40, 50, 60-year-old man can give you. But if mentally up here, he feels past his prime, the writing's on the wall, ladies. Because how he views himself is how he's going to set, create, and ground the world that you walk into. And that's got some risks. We'll talk more about it. But this is an indicator right up front. Any type of insecurity, if he brings up age, if he seems sensitive to age, if age gets him onto a topic or feeling some type of way, wait a minute, might be dealing with the old head. We got some comments coming on from YouTube. I would love to have a good man. I never have. That's what you hear. Stick around. Love seeing it, Miss Undefined Single. Appreciate you tuning in, and I hope this gives you value. Let's continue on with it. TikTok, I see you too. Screen smaller, and I don't have a keyboard, but I'll try and get to the comments when I can. Oh, snap. How does time out, fam? You got questions, I got answers. You see it on TikTok all the time. You see these lives coming through every week. Drop it in the comments, send me a DM, or reach out directly for a one-on-one consultation. Or you can actually request a video over at the Stand store as well. So I've got to make sure I put that in there for you. I want to get all the questions answered. That's how I get some of these topics. Here we are. The old head, he's taken his experience as truth. He remains closed off to any considerations, any perspectives. He's gone through life, and women are like this. These people are like this. Like, do you get me? These are law in his book. Now, that's just a person's outlook, but these old heads, the problem with that is they're set in their ways. The problem with that is that they accept it as truth and are unwilling to see anything else. You see, that's tricky because masculine answers, who am I? And he's telling you truthfully who he is, and he's grounded in that. The thing is, if that ain't your type of lifestyle, if that ain't your type of archetype, if that's not what you want to live into, if the good old days, if the traditional days, if the conventional days, whatever you want to look at it, if those aren't the direction you're trying to go, this is not the man for you, because the old head, those are the good old days. That's where he stays, lives and plays, and he will bring you right along with him. So you need to decide for yourself right off bat if that's a train you want to get on and a man that you want to follow, because he is closed off and will not change. I'll tell you that straight up. And the considerations, that also means your considerations. Older view and perspective of a woman. Older view and perspective of potentially somebody younger. Older view and perspective, everything. You know what this means, so be aware of it. Look into it. Look out for it. With that, he lacks the self-awareness and the adaptability. Emotional intelligence is likely a foreign concept, like trying to use an iPad. And seeking help is blasphemy. Ladies, you can already kind of hear the dangers coming out. But yes, this old archetype, because masculine, who am I? I got it. I'll figure it out. I'm big enough. These are the toxic things I'm still trying to unlearn and teach my brothers of today's generation so that we can break all these curses and things that have been left around. But this is where it originates. Unfortunately, it's still out there. My mantra, over with the men, nobody told us. We didn't have a rite of passage. And it's generations upon generations. I'm just potentially telling you about the generations that are still walking this earth. But this has been something passed down, or the lack thereof, and we're all just a product of the environment. So unfortunately, these men are the last generation of the exact same thing. So these are the things you want to keep an eye out, because back in their day, you didn't have to worry about emotional intelligence. You didn't have to worry about seeking help, or When I say blasphemy, I mean quite literally, because even the limitations, nothing against spirituality, nothing against religion, nothing against whatever you believe, and there are people out there that to literally seek help, therapy, support, counseling, anything that can better oneself outside of one good book is blasphemy, quite literally. Do you hear the mindset? Do you hear what I'm speaking to? You don't want to be a part of that, and I can tell you right up front. So don't get yourself in a position where you're going to be signed up for it. Now, let's talk about the dangers of the old head. If you get in with an old ass man, you're going to be stuck in his old ass cycles. I mean, that's pretty much it. And I mean, I've got those people in my life that I love them. I do my work. I'm all into development. I'm all about bettering the world, not just in my content, not just in my business, but in my life. That's the type of spirit I am and what I'm here for on this planet. And even to that degree, I've had the conversations where, yeah, I did that. I looked into that 30, 40 years ago. They used to call it this, and I know all about that. I'm an old ass man. And that's literally masculine expression, grounded as fuck. I ain't changing nothing. I am who I am, and this is life, and hell, I'm on the way out. It is what it is. Yeah, he's going to keep you stuck in those cycles, those antiquated beliefs and values till the day that he goes, till death do us part. So if that's not where you're trying to do, you can part. Peace. See your way out. It's likely to be reliant upon you for more than needed behind those old gender roles. Can you help me with the bills? Can you balance out my checkbook? Can you pick up my prescriptions? Can you take care of this? Can you take care of that? Because back in those old ways, how did it work? Well, if he paid the bills, done, checked out. He did his job, and everything else is on you. And you know what that's all about. There's not going to be really a context of partnership. And again, those things that he's going to be looking for by those old gender roles, he's an old ass man, and that's how they did it back in the good old days. To that, he's stubborn to change. Kind of beating a dead horse here, but it is what it is. He'll stifle you with limiting beliefs, past, and in a refusal to adapt. He is willing to accept the slow decline rather than pivot, shift, shake things up, and breathe some new life into it. Like I said, on the way out. So those are the things that you definitely want to be wary of. As soon as somebody, the age thing, I'm older than you. If he brings it up, he's thinking about it. He's feeling it. He's truly insecure on it. And these are the things you want to look out for. His retired development, because he's no longer growing, and it's going to be showing. But that retired development of his, again, ladies, guess what it's going to do? Stunt your feminine elevation. He can't expand him. That means that you're going to have to deal with his stunted growth. Again, emotional intelligence is not there. He's not aware of his own emotions. He's not going to be aware of your emotions. If anything, he's going to see your emotions as just being a woman, chalk it up to that, and nothing deeper. So inside of that, you want to be aware that's who you're dealing with. Next up, the emotionally unavailable or lacking emotional intelligence. What do I mean when I say that? It's kind of a fancy way of saying he's taken, he's not really available, he's not actually on the market. And now, with full disclaimer, especially as someone who practices non-monogamy, that is not an honest, transparent, consensual, and ethical person telling you the truth of their lifestyle, their beliefs, their practices, their partners, their activities, giving you the choice to play or stay where you are. That is a full disclaimer, and that's over in that MGM territory. Integrity, stands on what he's about. That's going to be clear. What we're talking about over here is emotionally unavailable. This is the cheater. This is the player. This is the fuckboy. This is who, and that's actually the first thing. What are the signs? Looking out for fuckboy behavior. He's off the market, yet a serial free agent. Some circumstances, breakups, on again, off again, lack of clarity in what's going on in his life and situation. That's how you can tell what's showing up. Unless you're interested in a love triangle, unless you're bored and there's nothing else going on in your life, I'd avoid it. He lacks integrity. He's often caught by the lying to you, others, or himself. Are you hearing that commonality? See, as certain areas stunt and don't grow for a man on these different facets, the same common patterns show up. So it's easy to recognize. He's selfish and only motivated by shallow validation or instant gratification. He's still got something over there for him. Similar to the YN and the aimless, except this is purely about him. He is purely looking to put up the numbers. He is purely looking for somebody, something in life to make him feel like a man. Because again, if he's emotionally unavailable, if he's already intertwined, entangled, tied up with someone, not actually available to give you what you want, or is only interested in getting what he wants, and has already left a trail of women not getting what they wanted, or actively wanting if they're going in a relationship. I saw a clip of a young lady talking about on TikTok how she just found out, broke up with an ex, and 3 years later he's married, and they were dating the entire time that they were together. And this is through COVID and lockdown and everything, and she is just astonished to get it and see it. Now, I don't know the whole sides of the story, but that is that emotionally unavailable. That is fuckboy type behavior. Anyway, he is selfish, only motivated for himself. He will only be available in small doses. And this can mask the truth, his actual truth, or lack of depth. See, if he's only looking for the hit and quit, if he's only looking for fun, again, without the transparency. Just because he's not looking to commit doesn't mean that he's stepping into the fuckboy behavior. If he gives you that communication up front, take it for what it is. Make your choice of whether or not you want to get on that ride. Now, when he's only available in small doses for unexplainable reasons, like, a whole life and family in the background, those are the things that are masking his truth. Those are the things that are keeping him at a distance, avoided. Those are, again, the flags you want to look out for. Now, what are the dangers he can't handle and creates his own trauma and drama, and all of it, ladies, is going to spill over onto you if you get tied up into it. So you have to decide for yourself. Other partners, love triangles, like I said, dramas. His trauma, his childhood trauma, is what has him acting this way. Again, unable to just own himself. Because of everything that I'm talking to, they're all conversations for loving himself. And you know this as well. You've had to go through it for yourself, where you're under the pressure and judgment of life, religion, family, nationality, background, politics, whatever, of what you do with your mind, your body, your life experience. He's in the same boat, except he doesn't know how to own it as a man. He doesn't know how to claim it and stand on it with integrity and just own who I am. So he does all these things to live his life. And with that, it will uncontrollably, he can't contain any of it, spill it over onto you as well if you choose to get tied into it. I'm just telling you all the things that you won't see up front. It won't look as good as the wrapper in the package, but when you open it, oh, it's spoiled, it's expired, it's bad news. He'll take extreme measures. These are the dangers of the emotionally unavailable and lacking emotional intelligence. He'll take extreme measures to avoid accountability and transparency. Those small doses that'll make you available, that'll make himself available for you, that stunted development is going to come out in extreme measures. When I say extreme measures, lies, cancellations, plans not coming through, reality not lining up, important, big, and major things that he says one thing and something else shows up. Why? Because he's managing different sides of his life. Those extreme measures, and I say extreme, not to mean that necessarily it's a gun chase or anything like the YN situation. But what that does mean is that maybe you're planning something around holidays. Maybe it's time to meet the parents. Big conversations come in play, and extreme measures, lies, stories come into play, actions to avoid getting caught, shit hitting the fan, basically. So you want to look out for that. Of course, with that level of commonality, he's also stunted his development, and therefore he's got no room to contain for you. That stunted development is not going to allow room for your feminine elevation. Can't contain beyond himself, and therefore can't contain for you either. And when I talk about that containment, ladies, just to elaborate, so a mature, grounded, masculine man is going to own the space, own his relationships, take ownership. This is how my communication goes in my relationship. This is how my woman feels respected. This is how my children are cared for, covered, and protected. All the feminine in his world, how his mom is treated, how his family is treated. That's containment. When we're having a conversation, when you're raising your voice, containment. I'm the pillar of responsibility. We're not going to disrespect each other. I don't care what you say. I don't care what you do. This is where the boundaries are. That's containment. You're upset. I can tell you're upset. Your upset may upset me, but I don't let that spill over onto you because I am containing. I'm the masculine. I'm the grounded. These emotions and shit need to roll off my back. He won't be able to do that. Without the capacity to own himself, to own the things he is responsible for, he has none of that in his capacity. So when the shit hits the fan, essentially, all the juking and dodging, all the extreme measures to get out of it, when all that comes crashing down, he will not be there to hold up anything. So that's why I keep saying containment. They can't contain for you because they can't contain themselves. These really are red flags because you can expect to follow precedent. How they do anything is how they do anything. How they do anything is how they do everything. That's how they'll do you if you get intertwined with them. Dangers, last but not least, say it with me, ladies. Bodies count. He's still potentially fertile. And if allowed, he will occupy your mind, body, and energy. Ladies, let's bring it home. Immature and unhealed. This applies to all of the above. Doesn't matter age, doesn't matter the demographic, doesn't matter where they are in their journey. And I want to take a time out real quick inside of giving room for the humanity. The red flags of understanding these type of men that you want to avoid does not mean that you disqualify human beings. And I say that for both sides of the coin. I am not one for the battle of the sexes, the gender wars, pushing all the bullshit and trouble onto the other side of the fence for men or women. I support both and all, want everybody to win. Nobody's done. You're single because you're single. You're not ready for a relationship because you're not in a relationship. You're not operating that way. Nobody's done cooking. Nobody's done developing, maturing, growing. The dance of yin and yang, the relationships, what's available for us as human beings, when we see a mirror of ourselves in another human being that we are attracted to by polarity and want to do this dance of social dynamics, sex, dating, and relationships to whatever degree you play it. You're doing that because they're giving you something you want to see within yourself. You want to develop, grow, and build within yourself. That shit is going to cause some intertwining. It takes some work to mesh together like a zipper. There's something that's got to force all that together. That is the process of a relationship. So I want to bring the humanity into it, that this is not just swiping left and right for numbers. This is human beings, social dynamics. We're interacting with other people. And a part of fixing this fucked up dating pool, pissy situation, modern game that it is going to be taking the responsibility that while you protect yourself, love on everyone else as well. Doesn't mean you owe them anything, but please hear in all of my messages just to treat other people kindly, just to take care of yourself and do the best to allow others to take care of themselves. You never know when you can be the catalyst of change that changes a person for the future, for that next partner, for them to have their happily ever after, which also, if you give it, comes back to you, give you your happily ever after. So by all means, I want to make sure this is painted in the right narrative to the information I'm making available, how it can help you, and also how to view these other human beings. We can dehumanize inside of the game that we're playing for our objective and take away inside of that gamification other human beings living their best life, perfectly whole and complete, and on a journey of their own to discover and grow inside of their path and fortune. Time out for that. Thank you for your patience. Back to your regularly scheduled program. Let's get it. Immature, unhealed. This is going to be the most basic type of man to avoid. Selfish and only motivated by shallow validation, instant gratification. Of course, there's no depth to it. It's immature, lacks maturity, unhealed. And that's speaking to that humanity I just touched on, because we all have it. I don't care who you are, where you are, whatever your situation, just the practice of being born, at least in the West, is going to be a traumatic experience. And from that point on, from attachment theory to your different ages and phases, I study psychology, you're going to develop traumas. Your interpretation of the world and how you survive in this dog-eat-dog makes no sense life that we all go through has trauma. So this is not only all men, this is all women, this is all human beings. You are going to be immature at some point, and the age is just a number. At some point, you grow out of that. I want to make sure to double underline that. And so the signs you want to look out for a man who is still immature and unhealed, being selfish, only motivated about himself, shallow validation. You can basically just think of the little boy, because that's what you're dealing with and looking at no matter what. Mood changes erratically based on how he feels or perceives the situation. You got to watch for his ego. It's like walking on eggshells. Well, this is why he's immature. He's unhealed. And I say little boy because no different. You wouldn't cuss out, stomp, tear down, cause harm to a little boy, a child. No, you look at them in love and say they need to grow up, go on about their way. Back in the day, you would actually give some pops and discipline, but we ain't that type of village no more, so let's not step into that ring. Last but not least, the signs you look out for: vulnerability and authenticity for the immature. An unhealed man are likely like pulling teeth. What do I mean by this, ladies? So men are conditioned with neglected, deprived, and appropriate word. I mean, retardation is a word in the dictionary. But truly, beyond political correctness, there's a level of acuity for social dynamics and emotional intelligence. I just gave you all kinds of information inside of these archetypes to avoid of men. But truly, just the masculine element is not socially conditioned and does not have the space anymore to be socially conditioned. There is no battlefield. There's a draft that has not been applied for at least this generation of men. But what I'm saying is that the social environment, using words, communication, that social acuity I was talking about that you've been exposed to since your puberty, men have not had that. Let alone, men don't even have the fellowship spaces just by default to be a part of a team, to be a part of a battalion, to be a part of a group of men, because we don't have the masculine spaces that are safe where men would do men's work and fellowship. It was a battlefield. It was killing motherfuckers. We were just going to battle and war, fighting animals, lions and tigers and bears, defending the perimeter, all kinds of rough shit. And that's where men developed. In the safety of the womb with the women and the children, that's where the feminine developed. Men are at a handicap socially, period. So it takes mature, grounded, masculine man to go and seek that shit, to develop that shit. It's not a default. So I want to put that out there as a understanding. And so it doesn't condemn them, but just speaking to, that's where men start at a baseline. And so when you're out there dating and you're seeing all these emotionally intelligent men, like, it truly is a phenomena if you get what's going on, the shift, the awareness, the desire to be and do so. But when that doesn't show up, vulnerability, authenticity, that you can bring up emotion and feeling, and that a man can acknowledge it, can talk through that. It may not be perfect. He might not even see it. It may be in a blind spot, but he can address it. He can be vulnerable. He can be authentic and talk about his humanity in totality. Remember I told you the old head is blasphemy to need help? This is along that lines. So if that's also coming up, it's a sign of immaturity. It's a sign of him still being unhealed. Now, what are the dangers? If not obvious already, just like the rest of the other 4 men you want to avoid. How long we got y'all cracking? 50 minutes? Yeah, I'm giving y'all something juicy this week. Better get some likes, some thumbs up in there. That's what I'm talking about. Volatile mood can mask danger as an exciting and romantic dynamic. And this, I want to speak to that toxic trait, the immaturity that may be on both sides. But when you feel alive, when you feel chemistry, no, that just means that you've got some immaturity and unhealed as well. Healthy relationships are boring, y'all. I'm going to be real about that. Now, excitement is what I really want to get. Because boring is because everything's good. When things are good, that's pretty boring. What do you expect? It's a good day. Sun's going to come up. It's fucking paradise. That's boring. Let's be honest. I understand the feminine. I get it. Excitement behind a mature, grounded, masculine man, it gives you something to smile about. It gives you something to talk about. It gives you an experience. Things can be good. Things can be healthy. They don't have to be boring. And that's what you want to look for. Excitement. And I say that because danger. Oh, we argue. We fight. Things get a little physical, a little heated now and again. Oh, that's just passion. That just means we feel. If you don't get that toxic bullshit out, we ain't playing no games. Come on now. Ladies, I can't be helping raise a generation of mature, grounded, masculine men, and we are still having an outlook over here on the other side that it's exciting to have a dangerous, toxic relationship. It's truth. We've all come from that, but it's time to heal. It's time to grow it up. It's not a standard. We can all do much better. It's not healthy for anyone, especially the little eyes, the generations that are watching, whether they're in your house or not. All of that shit, there's no room for it. We don't need it in the future, so don't be a part of it. Be a part of the solution, not the problem. But anyway, I say all that to say, this individual who is also immature and unhealed, hopefully you're not if you're on this channel, Divine Feminine. We're going to have to find a standard over here for the ladies. Drop it down in the comments. Help give me some ideas. I know the MGM over there for the men. But that volatile mood masks danger as an exciting romantic dynamic. That is not what that is. Moving along, he can't handle and creates his own traumas and drama, which will spill over into you. He's unhealed. He's immature. He has not grown up. Really, in totality, you're dealing with a man-child. So I think you know how to deal with that. But some other things and dangers, just in case you're not aware. He'll make you his enemy, as a child would, requiring you to be the emotionally grounded partner. You'll soon realize that because you have a heart, because you feel, because you're feminine nature, because you want to please him, I don't know the reasons, but for whatever reason, you may find yourself more often than not the individual who has to step in. That's right, I'll pass. That's what I'm talking about. Love the TikTok comments coming in. That's exactly what I want you to do. So those are the type of things that come up and the dangers to look out for. Him making you an enemy. I mean, again, a little boy, 9-year-old little boy. Love him and leave him. Let him go. Just avoid him. That's all you have to do, and let him find his way. When he misses a good thing, hopefully it matures him and helps him grow up. But not your business, not your job. As I always talk about, feminine has no response. Also, of course, say it with me, ladies, his stunted development will stunt your feminine elevation. A little boy cannot contain for himself, and certainly cannot contain for a woman or your feminine. And basically, you'll be stifled right along with him. Last but not least, ladies, before we wrap it all up, what's the dangers of getting with the immature and unhealed man? Bodies count. He's still potentially fertile and will occupy your mind, body, and energy if allowed. Ladies, that's it for this week. These 5 men that you want to avoid, just to run it back, we got the nice guy, we got the YN, the aimless, the old head, the emotionally unavailable or lacking emotional intelligence, and the immature and unhealed. These 5 types of men, 5 types of archetypes. If you see them, run. It ain't gonna be fun, and you do not want to be around when the sun goes down. I don't know, I like alliteration and rhyming. It just is what it is. I got a way with words. But I thank you for tuning in. As always, I'm gonna be right here, being the best version of myself one could say, beyond empowered. The question is, ladies, who are